Hello, friends of Komodo platform. It's me, Giuliano, and it is 21st of August, 8th month of the year. 4 more to go after this. So let's see where we are, are in this whole thing. Well, it's time for Tokyo, really, in the sense that the snapshot is coming up on the KMD chain. Exciting times whenever there's a snapshot. Make sure if you are a KMD friend that you have all of your ducks in a row, quack, quack. So where are we here in this chart? Okay, what have we done here? We've got these 2 touch points from the prior to highs, major highs. And now we are nearing the trend line that has been created or associated with them. Still, we are holding nicely the uptrending line as we got, well, we'll go closer in, but we got our nice bounce down here. All right. So with that bounce right over there, that gives us the potential for strength. However, if we make lower lows and we keep going lower, well, let's zoom in here for you. Just want to give you a check-in. What's going on? It's the weekend for many people. And so, whoops. So I hope, you know, you're doing well. Like the video, hit the like button. Thanks for making any comments. Right on. So with this low, now we're coming up here. We need to make a higher low. In fact, we're going towards this trend line. And yeah, maybe we get a little bit of indecision, but ultimately we want to get out of this area to the upside. Okay, otherwise, the other option is if we don't make it high enough here, possibly we could see weakness before further strength. All right, but this is the KMD USDT, and so that hinges on Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin stalling out at 50,000? Well, even something like this seems a bit more reasonable, in my opinion. Even something like that, where then we can come back and retest the levels, right? And then we can shoot off for a next situation, whatever that will be. Okay, we can see when we get closer to that time. This is a daily price chart. Okay, so we made the move down. It could, if it can be just a simple down move and we can continue higher further, that'll be great. We've had 2 previous days of green, so an intervening red day is fine, just fine. We'll move over to the 4-hour price chart. You know, the lagging indicators could go either way, nothing major at this point, but at the 4-hour price chart, one thing I wanted to note is we had a local top, right, after this move. So let's make this a bit bigger. Thanks for watching. Again, thanks for liking the video. Hope you've been watching all along. If you have, I very much appreciate you. And if you're just new to watching, and hopefully this is going to be educational or entertaining or some combo of any of those. So here we go. Look, we had these highs, and we formed a downtrending line, a downsloping line. You see that? You know, whether we touch the wicks or not, what we've done here beautifully, and you can see it within the 4-hour candles. If we go to a smaller time frame, we'll probably see actually multiple candles coming down to touch and then go back up. But you see that we broke out, tested it just on a candle basis, went up, and then tested it again on a more of a movement wave basis within this 4-hour price candles. Now we're confluencing with our Ichimoku cloud. Friends of Ichimoku clouds, looking good. One thing I wanted to notice too, this can quickly turn bullish overall from a cloud perspective, from an Ichimoku perspective, because the price is above the cloud. So if you can hold support above the cloud, which, you know, even if it goes in a bit, I mean, the cloud lowers nicely in the favor of the let's call them the bulls, right? So you have this lagging span in green here. The lagging span now is choppy with the price. for the full bull mode to be on, the other two indicators I'm not showing, they would have to be above the cloud, below the price, and the price would be above the cloud, and the lagging span would be above the price. So the beauty of this price action is that this lagging span, even going sideways or down a bit, will become above the price, and then that gives more room for, again, in the favor of the upside bias on this price action. So we're going to remove this downtrending line. I think it has safely been negated, but doesn't mean the price can't go lower. It's just that we might not be using that line. Now the bigger picture has us pointing towards this line right here. That's the idea. Okay, so that's 4-hour price chart on the KMD, my friends, sorry, on the KMD USDT price chart. And this is about the $1.14 level right now. So as long as we can hold above the $1.10, $1.11, I think that's solid. And if we can stay here around the 14.15 level, then that confluences with this price level and we can stay above this choppiness here. That's even better. All right, well, we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. It's a weekend. It might be a slow weekend. And then the weekly charts look like there's ready to turn into further strength to the upside. On the 4-hour chart, still hovering above. We're going to have confluence with the 20-period average as well. So we'll see. Stick around, right? Next. One thing I wanted to also consider is that the conservative move at this point, based on all of this wave action right here, the conservative move is intermediately at about $1.75, let's call it. However, the more full move really is, well, at least to the 61.8 retracement, if not to the 7.8, to the 81%, 7.86%, 88.6%, that kind of high level. However, because the reason being is, if we're counting this correctly, like this 5-wave move, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a failed 5, and we definitely need to be making actually some, at least testing, the $3.75, $4 level. If not breaking to maybe even to the 1.382 at like $6, $6.25, or even more fun would be into the $7 level. If this move is accurate here, where was some form of ABC, we're just gonna get a bit messy right now. If it was some form of ABC ending here with this kind of 5-wave move down, and then failing on that 5th, then the reversal, the retracement, calling it a retracement, the retracement, if this is a failed 5th move, we need to at least be going down, down, down. Why would a 5th move fail if we're not going to go down, down, down? So I'm expecting some nice things. However, we are looking at 4-hour price chart and we're thinking, oops, we're thinking intermediate. So that's where we are for now. Okay, we're just looking at small movements. So that was the idea from previously. Now, is this the right count? Not sure. If the 5th wave ends here, we'll have the 3rd, and then we have already a 1 and a 2, fine. And then we're in our 3rd wave here, fine, just fine. No problem either way. It's a similar idea and shape. It's just that it will, if this is a failed 5th, then that determines a much stronger rebound. And if it's a 5th wave down here, then all right, we have a better idea of where we stand in the uptrending impulsive movement now, which is a retracement of the move from the highs, the recent highs, to the lows. Okay, that's it, KMD friends, for the USDT price chart. Watch out for what happens with the action in the coming days. This week will be should be exciting. Okay, next. Let's just flip over to the KMD BTC price chart. Oh yeah. So here we see a bit more flatness with this move, telling us either we're not in a similar situation or we are just, the BTC price is lagging the USDT price, because what happens is basically, let's say BTC USD would go up, find its level, hang out there, consolidate. That's when the altcoin BTC, for example, the KMD BTC price can go up. Meanwhile, before that, the KMD USDT price was basically following the Bitcoin price, or at least showing some increase. However, then when Bitcoin consolidates, that KMD USDT price can go even higher as the BTC, KMD BTC price goes higher. So anyway, it's two factors that are moving that KMD USDT price, and they play together in the whole scheme of things. We have that same idea here, this same type of structure in this chart. This is a daily price chart on KMD BTC. And one thing to note again is we had a similar potential here of 1, 2, 3, 4, because I mean, where else would be these waves, right? And they're of the similar degree. And then that fifth would be truncated in a sense, you know, failed fifth. That's huge, really. So after that, I don't really think that we have too much to worry about if we're thinking correctly, because after an impulse up, you're going to get an ABC type of correction. So having said that, we can zoom in more closely. Whoops, that's not the button we want to press. There we go. Fat finger. Okay, nice rejection at the cloud. Made our move down. Beauty support at the 20-day moving average. Daily price chart looking good. However, we're definitely giving back. And concern being now, okay, fine, what are some options here? Maybe we are going to go down as BTC rockets higher. Maybe this price is actually going to take a C wave of a zigzag pattern. You know, we're going like bang, bang, bang. Fine. Hopefully we get some sort of, let's measure the levels. Maybe it's there. I'll get us a little closer. Okay. Or I should say a little wider. All right. So this is a more local uptrending line. So is the C going to bounce there, or the bigger trend line from back at the end of June, and then another touch point end of July? Let's use our Fibonacci tools here. We'll use extension tool. We'll use the wicks for fun. Yeah, so that makes sense. We could go 1-to-1-ish around there. But I think a 618 type of area is much stronger. Maybe we wick down to here, you know, and then close at the trend line. That would be beauty. I think that would be reasonable. I could handle that. That would be at a 2100 Satoshi level. So if Bitcoin is climbing to, let's say, 55,000, that's fair. However, what we would prefer more than anything is if this is not necessarily even trying to be ABC, but most likely it will be. So I'm guessing that that's a higher probability. I don't think, let me just mark it out for you. Oh, we have it here already in red, but it's a little higher. So I'm going to add another one right here. So I don't think this zone will hold between here as a support. If this is playing out in that way, I don't think it'll hold. However, if this is just similar to the, let me clean this up for you folks now. If this is similar to, so these are our hopeful supports. I'm going to just make this a bit brighter so that we can pay attention to it a bit more clearly. Okay. All right. So let us make that into the green. Okay, so that's an idea right there. We want to watch that, and of course that confluences with the 20-period average. So you know what? I'm just going to say goodbye to you for now. There you go. So what am I saying? I'm saying if we're coming down, this is a daily price chart again. If we're coming down, just like in the USDT price, and we are getting this good support here, strong support twice here, but that just could be intermediate, right? Then we could be going up and then coming further back down, you know, retesting that. However, if it's like the USDT and we're supporting and then we're coming up here, then we're going to go higher and we're going to test, try and break through these resistance levels up at the 2600 Satoshi levels. But yeah, it seems as though, and it makes sense, as though if the BTC price just pops off, then sure, KMD BTC could dump. I'm just doing a an extension here. I'm just curious to see, where did we land? Yeah, that was the 1618. Beautiful move here. So really what we're looking for is some sort of alternation. Like if this correction here, we don't want to see the same kind of thing, do we? So let's see what happens. Maybe it becomes something more like a flat type of pattern if we're going to do that, you know. Maybe that's how it works. And I don't know where that would lead us to, but whoops. This kind of retracement would be, let's say, when BTC is done its move and dumping more, and then the alts are done their move. But that's also just another possibility. The more considerable scenario is a move up into here, or again, that fifth KMD, sometimes, you know, it fails in that fifth move. We have some really strong support. Support. Mixing my words today. We have some really strong resistance here. Well, when I say really strong, what I mean is there's resistance here, but it does its confluence with the cloud. The cloud is even lower here. So what's going to happen at this point? Is it going to be one of those failed fifths? Again, we go back to the thesis of where are we coming from? So more locally, yeah, failed fifth locally, and come down and make a bigger correction here so that you're correcting, let's say this whole move is correcting, let's say a failed fifth around here, and you're correcting 61%, you could still make it down to a 2000 Satoshi level from, you know, from up here at 27,800. But a failed fifth, yeah, again, would be too weak. I don't know. Seems like it needs to go higher than that. And that's where the idea of the weekly time frame really sets us up for excitement, because on a weekly time frame, these resistances are much less. So if we're paying attention to weekly time frame, then and even just on this daily time frame, we can see there is an ease of movement where we could eventually find ourselves higher. Maybe this move here, okay, is even beyond the downtrending line, which is this green downtrending line. We move beyond it, okay? Maybe this is where we get our resistance, or maybe as the boxes are showing, we really do get resistances here, and it's actually the fifth wave, which is extended. So the reason that would be interesting, like the 3 is already 161.8 of the 1, but you know, we could get something pretty solid here. Maybe it's the move is just to the 200-day moving average, right? We already have this first resistance, and this itself, you know, even though there's 5 waves here, let's say, but that would be part of these 5 waves here would be part of a third wave in the bigger degree of impulse, right? In this sense. So then you would be really counting like something along this line. And in that case, you know, then we need to say, well, hold on a second. Oops. This third wave here, if this third wave is gonna get anywhere, well, let's measure it against the one wave. So imagining the wave starts here, and we'll take the wicks for fun. So if we're gonna do another 161.8, like if we're gonna fractal this thing out, it makes sense because in the previous wave, the fifth wave here, the fifth wave was extended. It's the longer one. These, the first, second, third, fourth, they're the first and third are much more similar. I just want to double check here, make sure we're not like breaking any major rules in the thinking. Yeah, I mean, not too sure about this overall, even as an impulse, but let's just take it as it is. Okay, it might not be an impulse wave impulse. It could be a different type of corrective move impulse. It can be created in a whole bunch of different ways. So let's imagine this is the first, second, we're going into a third. So we can think about the fourth moving us down. So where would the third end? Well, that's the idea. Maybe this third wave here, I know you see the number 5 because that would be like the 5th wave of the impulse. Maybe it isn't going to be alternating. Maybe it is going to be, again, that extended move, just similar to the previous one, and which would be similar to the bigger previous one. If you imagine, let's imagine here, we've got, I'm just going to double check again. I've done it before, but so let's say we go to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's like a 1-to-1 with the 1 and the 3, if you even consider that. I mean, you could really, if you wanted to, you could probably count the 3 all the way up to here if you wanted to. But if we go 1-to-1 on the 1 and the 3 waves, and then that 5th wave would be this long extended impulsive wave, massively impulsive wave, which makes sense. I get the sense that this being its own impulsive wave makes more sense. So that would be a 5th wave impulse up. And so maybe the fractal or the similarity in the pattern is this 5th wave impulse up as a, sorry, not 5th wave impulse, extension impulse wave. Okay, so that's the possibility. And in which case we're hitting the 4,000 Satoshi levels around there, you know. So prepare for that. I see this as number 1 possibility, and then maybe a shorter 5th wave, because I mean, look, this is a cloud. Like, to get through this cloud is pretty tough. You would need a lot of strength for that. Does KMD have it? I don't know. This position here seems more safe. Okay, but this one just seems more exciting. So we're rooting for you. Okay, we're rooting for you. But overall, up is the direction. Whether it stops here or stops here, the bias is there. Even if it stops here at this trend line, I mean, at some point we're testing this trend line. Is it going to be from just constant sideways? Maybe it's the BTC price. But based on our previous moves, if this is indeed a 5th, and this is no longer actually a 1 and a 2, then we're in a different place now. Now we're in this 1st wave, and then in that case, indeed, it could be something like this, and then come down, and that would be your 1st and 2nd wave of something bigger, possibly. Anyway, just some thoughts here that I'm spewing, and I'm going to end it now, unless you have anything else to add. You know, throw it in the comments or whatever, but well, that's it for now. Take care. Goodbye.